Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are doing Packet Tracer, what is it, 2.3.2.5, implementing basic connectivity. We're going to just jump right into it. Again, these videos are primarily made to try to help you understand your reading material throughout your week and how it implements back into the Packet Tracer. This isn't going to be the quickest video out there to help you get through these labs, but I will try to inform you as much as possible about all the different information you learn throughout the week and how it implements into each step. Okay, so objectives of this course is to perform a basic configuration on switch 1 and 2. Part 2 is to configure the PCs. Step 3, configure the switch management interface. Background, we don't need to read that. Part 1, I'm performing a basic configuration on switch 1 and 2. All right, step 1, click on switch 1 and click the CLI tab. Hopefully you've got a chance to go ahead and go through some of the Cisco Packet Tracer how-tos to kind of learn how to maneuver your way through it, throughout the Packet Tracer, that is. If not, I would say go ahead and pause this and go ahead and watch one of those videos. But, okay, jumping right in, switch 1. So we click on switch 1. We click on the CLI tab. And hey, we're in user mode. So let's enable. And now we're in privilege mode. From there, let's go ahead and enter the correct host name for switch 1. All right, so let's go into global configuration mode by typing configure terminal or conft. Host name is the command that we'll be typing. Switch 1. Beautiful. All right, so if you look over at your completion percentage, and let me just go ahead and change this so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. You can see. All right, we have 3 points out of 88 complete. Next, step 2, configure the console and privilege exec mode passwords. All right, they want us to use Cisco for the console password and then class for the privilege exec mode password. Okay, and hopefully you guys remember all the different ways of doing that, but if not, we'll go ahead and go through that. We want to type enable, so we're gonna first start with password protecting privilege mode. Enable password and then class. Now I'm going to show you this as a demonstration because this isn't what they're looking for. But we're going to go ahead and press enter, and if we look over, the completion percentage over here has not gone up. Because what they're looking for actually is the encrypted secret password. Now to take that out of your running configuration so it's no longer there, it's very simple. Just type no, just like how you would enable a interface to come online. You would type no shut. In this case, we're going to type no enable password. So no enable password. All right, and now it's gone. It's no longer in your running configuration. So we're going to go ahead and enable the secret password, which is what they're looking for. Enable secret class. Boom. All right, and our completion percentage goes up. Wonderful. All right, and then we need to secure the console interface. Okay, to do that, we type in line console 0 password Cisco, and again, to make sure that the password prompt comes up, you need to type in the word login. All right, exit back out to global configuration mode, and we're up to 6 points. All right, let's scroll down to step 4. Step 3. How can you verify both passwords have been configured correctly? Okay, well, again, I'm in global configuration mode, so I'm going to type do show run. Again, if you were in privilege mode, all you would have to do is type show run. which stands for Show Running Configuration. And you hit that, and it shows right here. We have the secret password right there, and it is encrypted, so it gives you all that alphanumeric goodness. Spacebar all the way down, and look at right there. The console port has a password, and it is Cisco. One quick tip. If you're in a running configuration, you want to get back and go out to whatever your previous mode you were in, whether it was user or whether it was privilege or global configuration. If you just type the letter Q, it pops you right back out. Just as simple as that. All right, step 4, configure a message of the day banner, and use that phrase that they give you, or sentence that is. So, banner, message of the day, and use a numeral character, so authorized access only. Violators will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Period. Special character. And there it is. Yep, and it looks correct. Good, good, good. All right. And then finally, I think it's finally. All right, yep. Step 5, save your configuration file to the non-volatile RAM. Again, whenever you're saving a starting or running configuration, it goes to the non-volatile RAM and VRAM. To accomplish this step, which that's what the question's asking, you go back down to privilege mode. In that case, I just, instead of typing exit, I press Control-C, and you type copy, running config to startup config. Press enter. It confirms that that's the file name that you're going to save it to. Press enter, and you're golden. And you can see our completion is now up to 8. Very good. All right, and then it says on step 6, repeat steps 1 through 5 on switch 2. So let's go ahead and do that. Switch 2, pull it up into the CLI tab, and we're in user mode, privilege mode, and now global configuration mode. All right, again, we need to go ahead and give it a proper host name. So host name, switch 2. All right. Then we're going to go ahead and password check privilege mode by enabling the secret class. And then we're going to go ahead and password protect the console interface. So line console, password, Cisco. Make sure to put that login in there. Nope. And we're back down to global configuration mode. All right, next step 4. We're going to go ahead and put the banner. We're going to skip step 3. Step 4, so banner, message of the day, authorize access only, violators will be prosecuted. Law. All right, and then next step is to go ahead and save your running configuration. Getting down to privilege mode by pressing Control-C, copy, running to the starting config, enter, enter, and 14 points out of 88. Part 2, configure the PCs or endpoints, things like that. Okay, so PC 1, popping into that. We're going to go to desktop here up at the top of the tabs. And you can get access to all kinds of different stuff through the desktop, whether it's configuring your IP configuration, pull up a terminal session, go to command prompt, web browser, so on and so forth. We'll learn all about this other stuff later throughout the different courses you take. So we'll go into IP configuration, and we're going to be doing a static IP address, so that's why we have the static. Click there. It says on PC 1, click tab. Yep. And so we want to go ahead and make sure. We'll just scroll up to the top. This is our addressing table that they're giving us for all of this goodness. And so for PC 1, that's what we're in. We're going to go ahead and give it an IP address of 192.168.1.1. And it is a Class C address. /24 insider notation. So it's a 255.255.255.0. And since we're only dealing with layer 2 right now, not layer 3, we are not doing any routing of IP addresses. We do not need to give it a default gateway at this point. And we'll just go ahead. And to go ahead and to verify that our configuration went through, you can always go to the command prompt. The command prompt pops up, and you can type in the command ipconfig. And this pops up right here. It tells us our IP address and the subnet mask and default gateway. In some instances, you might need to also do a /all. It'll give you a little bit more information about a lot of the stuff that you're looking at. It also will give you your physical layer 2 address right here, which is very helpful. All right, we'll go ahead and exit out of this, exit out of this. And we'll do the same thing with PC 2. Desktop, IP config, it's a static IP, 192.168.1.2, Class C address, no default gateway, good to go. Can verify it again by IP config, and there we are, golden. Next, to test the connectivity between the two switches. Okay, fairly simple. Pull up the command prompt once again. We can type in the command ping. Let's see. It wants us to first ping this address right there. So 192.168.1.253, and nothing. Timed out, right? Request timeout. The question is, why? Were you successful? No. Why or why not? Well, pretty simply, we don't have an IP address on our network, on our land, that matches that IP address. Quick tip when you're in a command prompt and you're running a ping command. If you're kind of stuck like this, you can press Control-C, just like that, and it ends the process. And you're back down to the prompt. But while we're in here, we can go ahead and ping if we want our neighboring IP address for PC2. And it shows right there that it is pingable. Reason why? Well, we're only dealing with layer 2, and there is an IP address that it can associate to that layer 2 address, and it pings it, and you're fine. Other cool tips when you're doing ping, you can add, let's do it, packet tracer, you gotta do it here, a -T, and it will do a continual ping. It'll ping over and over and over and over again until you tell it to stop. It's helpful if you're trying to trace different issues within the network. Again, to get out of this ping, Control-C pops you out, and again, at the bottom it tells you how many pings were sent, how many were received, how many were lost, and the round trip for all of that. So that's how you do a continual ping. So we'll exit out of that. And we'll go to part 3. Configure the switch management interface. All right. Let's go ahead and just kind of read what it says here. It says switches can be used as a plug-and-play device, meaning that you do not need to configure them to work, like we were just discussing with the IP addresses and why we could ping between the two different PCs. Switches forward information from one port to another on the media access control, otherwise known as the MAC address. If this is the case, why would we configure IP addresses? Well, for layer 3, right? And we'll talk more about the OSI model, and I'm sure you kind of touched a little bit on it with the what was it, application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, physical layer, right? So layer 2 is where your MAC addresses are. Layer 3, your IP addresses, so on and so forth, and work way up. So switches, again, basically work in layer 2, unless you have a layer 3 switch, but that's a whole nother ball game, and we'll talk more about that later. So we're going to go ahead and continue on switch 1. It says we're going to go ahead and add a virtual interface. So go up to global configuration. In other instances, if you're adding a different VLAN besides VLAN 1, you'll actually have to create that VLAN. So for example, if you wanted to create a VLAN 10, you'd actually have to come in here and type in VLAN 10, name it whatever you want to do after that for it to be an available interface. But VLAN 1 is one that's available on all Cisco devices. It is always there, so you never have to create the VLAN. But you do need to add a IP address to it if you want to make it a management interface. So to do that, we type in interface, or INT, if you want to do shorthand, VLAN 1. Okay. To add an IP address, like it says, just type in IP address and then the address that they're giving, 192.168.1.253 with a subnet mask of /24, which is also 255.255.255.0 or period 0. Okay. One thing that it's going to point out to you, why do you need to enter the no-shut command? Now, typically, in hardware or even in other packet tracers that you'll notice that you'll do, when you type in the interface and the VLAN that you are entering in, it'll automatically come up. But in this case, we have it set up within the packet tracer not to do so. Pay attention to that. It's very important that you always type your no-shut after your interface, especially if you don't see this protocol letting you know that the VLAN is up. Many times have I even been tripped up in testing when it didn't automatically bring it up like I'm used to in hardware because they want you to type the no-shut command. So pay attention to that throughout your whole entire semester when going through all these packet tracers, and really throughout your whole career. You want to make sure that that protocol comes up. All right. We can type exit, not exit, and go on to the next section. Configure switch 2. So switch 2, I believe, if we go all the way back up here, which is this IP address. Pop quiz, why don't we use the address of 255? Think about it as I'm doing this. Anybody? Well, the reason is that 255 is a broadcast address. We do not use that. That's why they stopped at 254 and not use 255. Okay. Okay, again, type your no-shut. Make sure you do that so you bring the protocol up. All right, let's see what else we got here, or we have here, that is. All right, verify the IP addresses configured on switch 1 and 2. You can use the show IP interface brief command to show IP addresses and the status, as well as alternatively, you can use the show running config command. Okay, so Control C will go back down to privilege mode, show IP interface brief. You can do that in shorthand, or you can go ahead and tab or type the whole thing out. And as you can see, it shows all the interfaces and whether they're up or down. The status tells you whether or not you've brought the interface online. It'll say administratively down if you haven't brought it up online, and then protocol, whether or not you have a properly connected cable, if there's anything plugged into that. There's other stuff that it also means, but when one is up and the other one's down, and vice versa. But we'll go into more of that in other videos. And as we can look right here, it says VLAN 1, and it tells you that it's up, what the IP address is for that. Another way you can take a look at your VLANs is do with the show IP, show VLANs, and it tells you right here. It shows you the VLANs and what they are associated with right here. So it says VLAN 1. It is your default VLAN. It is active, and the ports that it's associated with. If you had other VLANs, it would go ahead and break all these ports up and tell you what those VLANs are right there as well. All right, and then show run, right? Said you could do that as well. And sure enough, down at the bottom of all your interfaces shows your virtual interfaces, and it shows the IP address right there that's associated with VLAN 1. Okay. All right. Step 4, to go ahead and save it to your non-volatile RAM, right? Copy, run to starting. There we go. And do that on the other switch as well, and then verify connectivity between both PCs, which we actually already did, right? So we'll go ahead and copy, running. Okay, so we're done there. And yeah, we basically ran all the way through it, and you can see right here, the completion is 88 out of 88. So we did all of the steps that they were looking for. Oh yeah, we could probably show real quick the command prompt. We should be able to ping. There we go. And now we can go ahead and ping. And there's a reason why it times out at first, and which we'll go into more about that. And it actually says it right here. All pings should be successful. If your ping is 80% retry, it should be at 100% now. So if I run the command again, it's at 100% now. Other than that, we are good to go. Again, I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope it helped inform you on things that you've been reading this week. If you have any questions, definitely shoot some comments down at the bottom of the link. I'll try to help you out as much as I can. I'm in the process of setting up email addresses and everything like that for you guys to go ahead and send questions to also. But other than that, again, my name is Jesse. I hope you have a great time and keep plugging away out there. Bye.